listening to KUHS International, and I'm just so glad to have you here today. I am the author of the Caregiver's Handbook. Today we're going to be talking to a special guest. I'm just so excited to have this guest here, and I'll be telling you a little bit more about it in just a little bit. Before I get started, I just want to introduce a couple of our friends of the station. Albert Quintana is the author of No More Green Chili. If you've not seen this book, you can get this on QuintanaReads.com. He also wrote The Crochet Lady. So this is another book that if you're looking for an interesting read, please do look for this, Quintana Reads. Also, I would like to promote, Charlie Pachalo has a radio show on every Friday, and he's got this book, Meditations with Masters of the Axial Age. And he's been talking about it on his show every Friday, and I think it's really interesting read. You get a chance to take a look at it. Get a hold of the station here, and you can get, watch on Friday, and then you can get information on how to purchase the book. Charlie Pachalo is very, very interesting, and he has some topics that just really are worth your time listening to. Again, I am the author of The Caregiver's Handbook, a self-help love story. And I'm really proud of this book. And before I get started, I just want to share with you a couple of things that may be of interest to you. If you are a caregiver or a loved one of yours is a caregiver, or someone who is, receiving care, this book has a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different ways that you can consider the options that you have. One of the things that I really wanted to talk about before I get started is every chapter has a little gray section like this, and what that is what I've learned and what I had to take away from that chapter, and things that as a reader you might be able to use and benefit from and grow from and really just use for your own benefit. The Caregiver's Handbook can be purchased at paullane.net, and if you're interested, it also is available as an ebook or a hard copy, so please do take advantage of that. One of the things about life is sometimes you get handed lemons, and having the show, it's not always easy to get an author to come on the show, and this week I found myself in that situation. But I talked to Henry Archuleta, the station manager and owner, last night, and I told him my situation, and I asked if if he'd be interested in having me interview him, and I was very honored when he said he would, and so today I'm going to be interviewing Mr. Henry Archuleta, and I think it's just something that's long overdue. For those of you who know Henry, you know that he is a big contributor to the community. He is a servant. He's a man who definitely gives very much all of himself. A family man, a businessman, and again, a leader in the community that we just need so much in this community. I've known Henry for about coming on 10 years now, and I actually met him accidentally. Had him repaired a computer of mine, and I just struck up a friendship with him, and I've been friends with him for coming on 10 years now. Henry has worked really hard for, I believe, over 13 years to make this station what it is, and a lot of what you see in this technology is cutting edge. It's not something that you're going to see anywhere in the world, even not just in the city, but anywhere in the world. The technology, the streaming aspect of our show is all very dynamic and very new, and again, cutting edge. Since in the short time that I've been coming to the radio station, I've just seen so much growth and development and so much just technology that I just scratch my head and say, man, how did you learn all this stuff, Henry? But it's just been a great honor to see and to watch Henry go through the development of this station, and understanding and learning about streaming and internet and just all of the things that Henry does to make this possible for all of the listeners. If you're not familiar with the station, all through the week there's such a great format, so much programming that's just talk shows, spiritual shows. There's music. There's just all different kinds of genres, and we have so many very interesting people. Tomorrow morning we're going to have Canciones de Domingo with Sylvia, and just every time you turn on this radio station, you're going to hear something interesting and something that you want to hear and listen to. So again, I just thank you for taking the time to listen to us today. I thank you for the opportunity to come into your home and in your phone and your car, wherever you're listening to us. I just thank you for giving me your time this morning. Again, I found out I have some lemon, and I made some lemonade with it, and Henry was gracious enough to accommodate that request. Um, one other thing I wanted to mention though was I've talked about this on a couple of shows before, and what it is this little silver vial. It's called Liquid Gold RX. A friend of mine showed me this, and I purchased it, and it was a little pricey, but I took it and I really liked it. I've seen some real unbelievable um, I don't know if you call them results, benefits. My girlfriend has a dog that was on death's door. We didn't think it was going to make it through the end of the weekend, and I took some of this spray and I sprayed it in its mouth. And by the end of the day, the dog was walking. And 2 days later, the dog was running. And I'm not kidding you, this is a 16-year-old Chihuahua, and I watch it every day, and it's just like this is not the same animal that I originally met. So with people, it works pretty good. I have a friend that's diabetic, and now, this is not guaranteed to treat, cure, or diagnose anything, but I will tell you this: I got a friend who has diabetes, and since he's been using it, his blood sugar has been 100% normal. So, if you're interested at all, liquidgoldrx.com /Lane Man. Forgive me. liquidgoldrx.com /LANEMAN. If you're interested in ordering it, it's very, very potent stuff. It's been around for about 47 years, and this formula is made from over 40 different plants. There's no chemicals, no drugs, won't interfere with insulin, won't interfere with chemotherapy, and people are just getting tremendous results with this product. So, Liquid Gold RX. A couple of weeks ago we had a show, and the show didn't go off real well, and I'm really sorry that it wasn't able to go on. Sometimes that happens, that's just part of technology, and so, I just want to let you know that I'm really sorry that we weren't able to broadcast a show for you 2 weeks ago on the Weekend Boost. What else? I know that there are people out there who are interested or thinking about writing a book. I know that there's someone out there who is just about ready to start typing and just don't know where to start. I got to tell you, I never dreamed that I would write a book. I never dreamed that I would be sitting in front of you holding a book that I wrote, and yet here it is. And I just encourage you, if you have a dream, act on it. If you have a thought, don't make it just a thought, make it an action. Write page 1. If you don't have a title, that's okay. Write page 1. And you know what follows? Page 2. And you know what, before you know it, you'll have a compilation of thoughts that really come together, and you can actually make a book that changes your life. Other people. And we are about ready. And Henry, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Oh, sure, Paul.
So good to see you.
Oh, you bet. It's, the thing is, I was had you on, and you did a fine job of holding it up, because usually I'm not back here. So I usually share everything out the way in for the Weekend Boost. So in here, I'm sharing it out through here. So I'm getting it taken care of for you. Yeah. Man, that was good narrative there that you dialogued it. I mean, the narrative in this book that he's written. Let me go over that. Paul Lane, I would say repackaged it.
I did.
And you didn't mention that.
Yes.
So
originally the book was called Through a Caretaker's Eyes, and I released this book 10 years ago. I self-published, so I didn't have any big money or any big publishers or promotions, and so everything that I've done has been really self-promotion. But about 6 months ago, I just came to the decision that I wanted to reformat or re-release the book, but I wanted to give it a new title. I wanted to give a title that really explains what the book is about, and that's exactly what I've done. Someone told me, man, this is a great love story, and I never thought of it as a love story. And so, when I put it together, I realized that, yeah, this is really a love story, and it is a self-help book. I'm a motivational speaker, and so I put a lot of my own narrations of self-help ideas and little anecdotes and so forth in the book, and so it's I've been told that it's a very good read. So if you're interested, if you have time, go to PaulLane.net. I'm sorry, PaulLane.net. Yeah,
stay in your lane, Lane.
PaulLane.net. You can order the copy there. Again, it is available as an ebook, and we just appreciate your your business, and I think that you'll really get a lot out of this book.
Big shout out to Melissa. She says, I want a book. Angela Joseph, big shout out to you. Happy Saturday to you too.
Good morning, ladies.
And this one right here that Charlie does. Have you read this?
I haven't.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. It's thinner, but the his vocabulary and his narrative put together with his high-end vocabulary is great. And so sometimes I'll act all ghetto in here and use my ghetto language, put a big word in there because I asked him if I can borrow a few words. He gets a kick out of that. Can't stop laughing, it's like, but it's fun if you want to catch that book. And also Albert Quintana's The Crochet Lady, which is his latest one. And so we're giving everybody a plug on. You've had a lot of these great artists.
Yes, I had Albert in not long ago, and Albert's just a well-read man, and he's very experienced, and he's a man who really cares about people and especially kids. And, so, dude, if you have an opportunity to get The Crochet Lady or the No More Green Chili book, please take a look at them. I think you'll really enjoy both of these books.
He's got one more.
Yes.
Teacher grows up in Commerce City, but he took that book away from me. I see this he'll bring it back. So, you said, Henry, can I interview you?
Yes.
And I thought, oh my gosh, so several times I've come here, Paul's done it, but we can only cover so much. There's so much to, look at my
Uh-huh.
I've been around the block more than once, more than twice, more than 100 times. I just came around the block a few minutes ago.
There he is. He was panting when he came up the stairs.
And so, things have, we've known each other well, actually, in real life. I've known you from afar, but we got to know each other in person, which is really cool. And I like the idea that you took over this slot. Because this slot is already promoted, and they needed somebody like this to, entertain our people that are out there, our audience, all around the world. That's what's cool about it.
Absolutely. This is such an honor for me.
Yeah, and so we've had some fun with Paul, and he's done some really cool things. And yourself, you're you can actually go out and be a speaker on behalf of people who want you to be their speaker. Or you've done a lot of these things.
I've done keynote speakers. I've gotten to speak for La Raza, for the National Men's La Raza group. It's been quite a few years, but I've spoken for Junior Achievement. I've spoken for quite a few different organizations.
So you're well versed on all this, and so I've noticed that now that we've really watched who we bring into the studio. We're bringing in some quality people.
Yes.
Jesus, people with master's degrees, doctoral degrees, and what they're putting forth there is just incredible. And we've got our new ad, Melissa,
Yes.
and the latest one, Nikki. She does the thing on nutrition, which is, wow, she did a fine job. She says, I only want a half hour. And she's kind of unnerved, but everybody gets unnerved with your first show. But, Dr. Lowell came in and helped her in the beginning and in the end. So it calmed her nerves, and then her show really came off well. She got a lot of hits for the first show.
Very cool.
But I really believe, with nutrition, a lot of people like nutrition, like yourself, me, everybody. So that's where we had each other come out of the tortillas, right? We don't care.
I still use lard. I don't care.
Right. That's what gives it the flavor. And lard is actually better than canola oil.
I agree.
And so, I talked to the nutritionist, Nikki, and she told me some things. Really, she goes, you eat lots of beans with corn, mixing those two tortillas on not a big basis where you're eating 2 or 3 sitting, but you can eat one. Your corn tortillas is fine. So there's all these variables that she brings to the table. And then yesterday, Melissa, and she brought some information about your finances and how to get that under control. So there's a lot of people who, man, they just don't understand what it's about. They'll just go get credit cards up the button. Well, I got all this money. You don't have any money.
Well, you have credit.
Yeah, well, not even debt. Those are debt cards. I always thought they did that backwards to fool you. It should be called debit cards. And credit cards are where you do have money, in bank, so you can go pay for it. So she had a lot to say yesterday. And also Dr. Lisa Robin, she talked about talk to your money, and watch your money, visit your money. Don't just go to those auto pays. You go to auto pays, I'll buy money.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought I had enough money in it. There's a bank hitting you up. You don't have the money, we'll charge you money that you don't have. And they get rich on you for not having money.
Yep.
So I was listening to some great shows. So we've had a lot of stuff coming through here. And then your show, that's really cool. Following this show will be Paul Chavez, who's bringing in a lot of guests today at this fall. How'd that happen? I don't know. So we booked it.
Very cool. Very cool.
So it's going on really nice.
So Henry, you've been a community leader. You've been a contributor to the community. All your life. As I was growing up, I remember people like if you remember, if you're from Denver, Paco Sanchez.
Yes.
You know, and I was mentored as a young man by Paulie Baca.
Yes.
You know, and
Paragon.
Paragon, yes, and a lot of leaders like that. You know, and as I think about today, I don't know about a lot of leaders that were active in the community, but you're the name that keeps coming to the top of the list, Henry.
Well, it's because now we have this media.
Yes.
That we can broadcast our people, you know, everybody who doesn't have a voice, who can't get on the standard, corporate running radio station.
Yes.
Get out there and say what they got to say. There's only room for so much in here, and we try to bring as much as we can. But there is a waiting list, and there's lots of people sending me press releases daily, all these things. Like, it's just too much. Sometimes it's a little too much. You just have to randomly pick what you think would be socially accepted, as well as what's part of the community. If you pick something that's just kind of like off the Now, yesterday, Charlie picked this guy who wrote this book, but he's from another state. I was thinking you'd get him on it. He wrote a book about what are you going to get into when you get into the service, and what you're really doing. You got to know what you're doing. And it just so happened that he had him as a guest after this big.
What's going on in
what's going on across on the other side of the world from our fearless leader.
we won't go into that.
Go there.
It'll be another show.
But it was funny that they were talking a lot about it. Man, I was catching a lot of grief in there. And I try not to answer in any kind of disrespectful way. They tear me up. No, this guy don't know what he's doing. He's a leftist. They use these words. Snowflake, and he's leftist, and he's socialist, and he's all these buzzwords that mean nothing. And I've always said to everybody, in this government, there's the right wing and the left wing, both on the same bird.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter who gets in there, it's the same bird. Whoever gets in there, you're still running the same bird. You know, there's nothing different.
Yeah, I've heard that the power lies behind the throne. You know, and so the powers that be are not the ones that sit in the White House. No. They're not in the Senate. They're not in Congress. They're these rich bankers, these oil tycoons, and they're the ones that are dictating.
The opioids, the pharmacists.
And the pharmacists, big corporations, and
they cloak themselves.
I was listening to a short video someone sent me a couple of days ago, and it was talking about this man was talking about all of the people, and if all of the people would stand up, if we would just unite, if we would just stand up, we would take control of this country. And the poverty that we see, and the discrimination and the inhumane treatment of other people could be abolished, and we could do it in a day if we would just make the decision.
Now they say this guy that they killed was an extremely horrible terrorist and all this. Well, what about the KKK?
Why is the terrorist not being addressed in this country?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And so then they talk about poverty and this and that, third world countries here. What about this country? It's sinking.
We are becoming a third world country, and we're isolating ourselves just like a third world country. And it's really something to see. I just can't help but chuckle to myself seeing 45 alienating himself, our country, in NATO, time after time after time.
And then go to them.
And then all of a sudden he's going to them, hey, we need your help, He's undermining our intelligence agencies and talking about how inept they are and incompetent and how he doesn't believe them. And then all of a sudden he has intelligence that says that this terrorist is going to bomb America. And it's like, I don't know. I just have a lot of questions there.
And then they create this, and this is an old one. If you read Henry Kissinger's doctoral dissertation, he describes about divided conquer. And that's where Republicans and Democrats go after each other, dividing them. We're all the same, really. And if you really look at it, I'm conservative, but then I'm a liberal, aren't you? I save money, just like a conservative, but I don't. Like a liberal, it doesn't make sense. These are just many things.
Absolutely, they're labels.
Yes, and so in the doctoral dissertation of Henry Kissinger, he says, and this is so strange, you gotta get out and kill everything and keep it all in your control. Wow. Yeah, go read that. It's like, And this is the doctrine that they actually utilize.
And Henry Kissinger is, of course, a Republican.
Yes.
And if you look back historically and you look at the first job that Obama got out of college, he was with Henry Kissinger.
Yes.
Isn't that just the same bird?
The same bird. That's what I'm telling you. There's no difference.
Yeah.
See, if I got in there, I couldn't do anything different than they tell me to do.
Nope. You're at the mercy of those who are in power.
And when John F. Kennedy tried to, he printed all this money to take it away from the banks. And there's a movie about that, but they kept it really down low.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of speculation. It could have been this group, that group, that group. You know what? I think it was internal. I think it was an inside job. Yeah, there's a lot of speculation, and that's another good one. Good topic.
There's all kinds of stuff we can talk about. But if anybody wants to, they can get up on here and start really taking us out on because some of the stuff
Don't
they
give
say,
the address.
You notice it's not marked in here. That's what happened to Peter Boyle. Remember, he's talking about the Jewish people, but we don't want to know that going on here.
So, how did you get into this technology, Henry?
This technology I started about 22 years ago.
Wow.
And so back then, the technology wasn't even sort of around. I mean, there were barely 386 computers, 486 computers, and barely getting to 21 and stuff, and that's about when I got into it. And as I started watching and looking, I just got so intrigued with it. And I also took this in college in computer sciences and stuff along with my other major. And it just was so intriguing. You know, ever since I was little, I loved this kind of stuff. So, there's so much other stuff that I wanted to start right about 1993, 94 when the Pentium started coming out. They had these little floppy disks with AOL on them.
Oh boy!
You plug them in there and modulate. You'd modulate, log in, and hold out your phone system, and everybody said, "Get off the internet! I need to use the phone." And those were the days.
And that was high tech, man.
Yeah, that was extremely high tech, and it was just intriguing at that point. Modulate, demodulate, handshake. What the hell do they mean? You know? And so when you learn about that, that's networking. And at that point in time, they had this thing called the government intranet.
Intranet.
I don't know if you knew that. The government had this component called the intranet, internally communicating with this type of technology, with handshaking, modulate, demodulate, handshake, and talk to one another in intranet. And it now has become a virtual private network, VPN, and that's how it progressed.
Wow.
And so as I took in Regis, I went through those classes of networking. And from there, I wrote these papers that are now still used as footnotes.
Really?
As I was writing into the future, we'll have things like hacking, we'll have things like viruses, and I was just making shit up.
Wow.
And they still use those papers, go to footnotes, and people are writing these incredible papers of what they can make and create, and it's way out there. And so I stood with it. And so as time progressed a little further, we found that we can actually communicate music when Napster came out, and you can download Napster and do all this kind of things. Remember Napster? It was a free service. Napster was a free service for downloading music.
Wow.
And what it was, if you download the little app of Napster, you can communicate with other computers all over the world, with anybody who has Napster. And you can share their music. Now here's where the viruses started coming through. And the music industry threw their hands up. They were really pissed off. So they went after Napster, took them to court. In the meantime, I'm seeing this Napster stuff that you can network everybody together and play music. And share music. It's a music sharing platform. And then more came out. BearShare came after that. You remember BearShare?
Yeah, I'm back there. No, I don't.
There's all this music sharing platforms. Networking. Okay, so from there I took a look at it and wrote, look at this. So what if we created a platform that would display music? So using IP addressing, we tried it. And you can use anyone off all the windows and the players and put the IP address in there, and you can share your music out and play it to me instead of sharing. Ooh, we only had 28 listeners. We got together with this other group out of Atlanta, where they would share people in Europe and California and just all over the world, and we would handshake one another. We would say, we're handshaking, we're on, do your show, we're going to hand off, you go on a private little messaging board. I'm going off, handshake, the other person will take over on the same station. But it worked, but there was hardly any people listening. You know, it's like we got
The secret wasn't out.
So we got it up to like 30 people listening. So we were kind of like down and out. Then we got together with this group called Mania TV out of Denver. They put up a big warehouse studio with cameras and everything, and they started doing streaming TV.
Wow.
So we partnered with them, and they couldn't get going either because there was the technology to carry heavy video wasn't there yet, which is called compressing.
Mm.
When you compress video and you got more speed, you can move video without buffering. That was in place. They didn't know what to do, so they closed up shop and took off to California. The big one, huge. And so I still stay in touch with them. I want to partner back up with them. They say, Henry, you could just do it yourself. Good idea. And so that's really continued on. So about 5, 6 years ago, I thought maybe I could put back up using the latest and greatest technology for the station. But we're using servers, which means we serve ourselves, and we put Linux CZ on them, and we put Shoutcast server, which is the component that the software pushes it out to a big server up online, which is secure, and that doesn't go back into it. And so, from there it goes to all the IP address and back to the IP address, and I'll show it to you demo for you,
Oh, cool.
so you can see it. How that IP address in there, we're going to talk about putting it into a player. You put 10.1.10.1.900.136, whatever. And that's how you can play music back in the day.
Wow.
It's not done like that anymore. You can just log on to apps and all that kind of happy stuff. And I'll bring this up and you'll see how it fluctuates. And so,
you stumbled into this, or you? I mean, I'm sure you've done it through experience, and
I didn't quite stumble into it. It's
you're actually very focused and very directed when you came to the outside. I didn't mean to imply.
Yeah. Hey, look at me. Yeah. Overall, saying stumbling. Actually, you have to stay focused with it because one little dot, one little mess up somewhere, it won't work. And so there was a point in time, and this is kind of sad. And I'll show you where it shows get my IP. What's my IP address? So we'll get my IP address, which is this one. That's our IP address. And that's how we address it to all these people who listen.
Wow.
So right now, as you can view this, and now I can see by country, by browser, by OS, by device, by source of visit, and right now we have 3,000 people logging in at this point in time, but by the time the hour is done, it just skyrockets.
Wow.
It'll end up about 13,000, 14,000 for the show.
Very
logging in to hear what you have.
Very cool. Hey folks, if you're just joining us, I'm Paul Lane. You're watching the Weekend Boost with KUHS International. And I'm talking to the station manager, the owner, the brains of this whole operation, Henry Archuleta. I got to tell you, I'm just so honored to know you, Henry, and to have this opportunity to interview you. I mean, after the show, I'll sit and I'll talk to Henry for an hour or so after each week, and oh my gosh, I just my head's spinning with just all of the information that he has and all of the people that he knows. Oh my gosh, I'm talking about famous people. I mean, it's just amazing, all of the.
And I just talked to you about just the radio station, right? And so,
yes.
And the other parts, and see, this is the DYN that it goes up to, so it's the dynamic. So nothing happens to us. We have internet intelligence. That's where it logs into.
Oh.
And so this is run by a company out of California and keeps us safe.
Safe from?
We were hacked 2 or 3 times.
Oh, gee.
They can hack in and turn you off and take you down. Very good.
Yeah, I remember not long ago they hacked your LinkedIn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now here's the other thing that's really interesting. That DYN, they're so secure. If you don't get in there and use it or just log in, they shut itself down. One of our guys that worked with us passed away. Almost like Dan, the same thing. And you can get in there quick enough and have a password with it, and it shuts itself down and logs you out, and nobody. I couldn't get in there. And so we were down for almost 30 days. I was able to reroute and keep the station going on like Lincoln. So I finally talked to this gal there. She said, let me have my GPS phone. It was locked up.
So it's secure.
It's so secure no matter, and I'm good at what I can do because back in the day, we had this facility where we would train young people how to hack.
Really?
Yes, and so the military would come and visit us and they'd come and look us all over and everything. And about 50 of it was really weird.
Jeez.
So that's what we used to do. So there's a couple of kids that went into the military and became shoots in the military for doing that. Security,
Intelligence.
Yes, intelligence.
Yeah, so you've been involved in intelligence and security for many years. You've been a consultant to, you talked about NOAA.
Yes, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency. And so they know who I am, and they know that if one of the bigger companies is stuck on something, they kind of, you gotta go talk to him.
Gotta call Henry.
Because I charge a little bit. But what they put me through is, Jesus, like I was telling you, they make you can't go to lunch, eat, break, nothing, from start to finish for you then.
Wow.
And they follow you except for the bathroom, and with guards that aren't rented guards, they're actually flight water, and flat water is the other side, flight water. They walk around with you and make sure you are who you are.
Oh boy.
Even though they know you, and you have a tag and everything, but that's part of it. It's a strange situation. And the guy who passed away also had no 20 minutes. So you could just walk right in. You didn't have to have a badge or nothing. They would scan his
iris technology. Iris.
Wow. And he can go in there and so he would take care of some of the equipment. And a couple of these jobs we lost. And then the other one we had was the CUO, Space Department. It was a rapid rate for the space shuttle that actually flew up. Of course, everybody lost their contracts. It's done, Whoa, that was so sad.
Yeah, that was life changing. That was just
for everybody.
Yeah. Anyone who was alive at that time, can tell you. I remember where I was the day that space shuttle blew up.
Yeah, everybody. I would be just the one that really struck me was the school teacher. The school and everybody. Yeah, she was so happy.
Oh man, that was.
School was watching all the kids.
Yeah, the whole world saw it live. That was just brutal.
Yeah. And so, we and you were talking about knowing a lot of people in the music business. Of course, I was in the music business. I still am. And so I still see a lot of the individuals who are, and I say it this way, some have gone through some very extreme things. Others have dwindled and gone to the 6 feet under from drugs, drinking, doing things that they shouldn't be doing. A lot of them still come visit us and visit us here. And it's like, whoa. Yeah. How do you know them? Well, it goes back a long way. Back when I was very young, they were very young. From the cool museum people to function to the Platters, the Platters, Earth, Wind and Fire, all the different bands that come through. And now the new ones that are coming up, the Cast Lightning, and you've got great Goodlow and all the different ones that are just skyrocketing. And you see the variables. And so it's interesting to see all these things. To know them. And Rob Mullins just came in the other day. He keeps on coming in. He's very famous himself. Nice to see you. Well, nice to see you. And we're like all happy to see each other. It's a pleasure to be around you. It's a pleasure to be around you.
No doubt.
And so to me, I feel the same way about them. That they made me feel good about me. To me, I just enjoy. I think being around you, anybody I'm around, I have a good time. Everybody has something.
Well, I always go home with a side of Henry.
It's interesting.
So right now, you are in high demand. Even as we speak, you're in corporate America. There's organizations that want to hire you, and yet you're here. And it just gives me so much respect for you because I know that you could be knocking down some serious money.
Yes.
And
I've told you a few things, and I was kind of apprehensive of going to where they wanted me to go because of the situation. And a lot of people don't know that. I was around, this big corporation that's in trouble. Instead of corporation, it's a quasi-governmental organization. That's what it is. But they're in a situation to where it's almost like the banks. They get so big, they can't fail. And if there's situations where there's people in there that they're just skating and just sitting, collecting their money, and that's the problem. And so they're not addressing the true problem. So money, like you were saying, doesn't mean everything. Because if you go into some of these organizations like the chopping block, man, that they're going to put right there and say, it was you.
We need a fall guy.
Yeah. And so I don't get it. And then politics, you can learn about politics, and they know the around and behind and underneath the Federico Penguin administration, as well as him going through the Clinton administration and becoming the transportation director, and how that played into what we were talking about, and how you get money and how you fund things. And that's what it's all about. So it's sometimes they say it's who you know, yes and no. Who you know can turn their back on you in a heartbeat. That's why you have to really, especially in the political arena, you have to study on it. Yeah, they can catch you when they're looking. Whoa.
Yep. I remember when I was a young man, a friend of mine was going to run for city council in District 1 of Denver against who was then Bill Schuyler was the city councilman there. And this friend of mine was a school teacher at Lincoln High School. And shortly after he began running, he started getting very vulgar phone calls.
Really?
And then he started getting threatening phone calls. And the Republican Party of the city of Denver was not a nice group of people. And, I mean, it really opened my eyes to what the reality of politics is, and it's a dirty game. And so, I think, and I don't want to bounce around too much, but I wanted to talk about, right now we have children in cages. We have literal concentration camps in this country today. What do we do about that, Henry? What do we do about that?
Here's the dilemma with that. The power.
Yes.
That is in power right now. The power that's there. You can't fight that. No matter what you do. They've tried. Everybody's tried. But once you have somebody with so much power, they just make phone calls because it's the hierarchy of that government. He's the main guy, and he tells these 10 people who tell these 20 people who tell this whole giant bunch of people who do this can't stop that power. Then you have military, so you can just press the button to put their ass, shoot them, bring the National Guard in, do whatever,
on whoever it is.
And then they created this ICE and beefed up ICE, and they get all these leftover cops, leftover people that have done some atrocities, done atrocities out in the community, but they hire them to go be ICE. Now, if you really give this some thought, you're in ICE and you're going to go take apart a family and take away their kids. You have to have a really cold part or a black part. A black one. I don't care how much they pay. That's what we're talking about. If somebody came around to me, $500,000, but I want you to go in there and run ICE.
I think I'd have to reject that position.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there are certain things you just see, you already know. You don't even have to get in and feel the environment, the culture, whatever it comes together. It's the same thing. When you go out there and do things, you think, okay, I get paid this much, I'm happy, I'm just going to live, and make some money, I'm going to do my thing. Now, there are some things I do take, but I take them on just a consultant basis. And I'll do certain things and just get out. As you already know, I can only go in for a second and get back out. Because you'll make that decision, it will change a lot of things. And you'll see changes come about. If they would stop this ICE crap, here's what they do. They go into these packing houses, arrest all the people who are working for cheap. Why are you arresting people who are working for cheap? Did they take your job? Well, go get that job. Or do you want to work in the field?
Yep, come lay my concrete. Come put the shingles on my roof.
Go to the packing house and pick up all the guts. Come on.
Look at the harvest. I mean, there's vegetables rotting in the fields right now. Well, not now, but this fall. Yeah, there was.
So you and I agree on a lot of things. Things aren't quite right. We've lived a long time. And from the 70s to the 80s, the Reagan administration, there's all these crazy things going on. Here in Denver, a lot of people don't know, it was really run by the KKK.
Yes, it was.
Kurgan, it was Nichols, Spear, all the different ones that they named. Stapleton was big, and his grandson was trying to run for office, and he was trying to shed oh, that was my grandfather.
I'm nothing like him.
Wow.
Wink, wink.
It's like saying you have no blood of your mom and dad.
That's right.
They don't have no blood of their grandfather. What?
Yeah, that's
It's
like saying I want Donald Trump Jr. to be the president. I'm not going to say any more about that.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, so what?
Yeah.
You want the KKK back in there. You know why McNicholas fell, right? So, the Penn administration there was this faction that came about, and you don't know who they are to this day, organized this committee to name the airport Denver International Airport, not name it Penn International Airport.
Wow.
Yeah, so to this day, we don't do that. Wow. They all stuck the money in the family and then they got it done.
Mm-hmm.
Pay off.
I remember there was a lot of controversy even when they named Kenya Boulevard.
Yeah.
They said we can't name it while he's alive or while he's still in office.
Yeah.
And I was sure that the airport was going to be named Kenya Airport, but obviously they never did.
That's what they did. So we've seen a lot of things. That's where the politics, when you get behind politics, if you're a fundraiser type of individual, and back then we were doing the architectural promotion thing, we would draw thousands. When you did the two-guy concert for, and now he has a movie going on with Cesar Chavez.
Yes.
With bring a can of food and $1, and you're raising, getting food for the migrant workers. And the finger phone, Cesar Chavez, for $1, all of them. So that hit the movie. It was really a nice event. I'll never forget that one by the way. Maybe these famous people and doing something to that
caliber,
that
level.
That level.
Yes.
To this day, I say, yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, I think that for everyone, I'm sure that not everybody wants to make a change in the world, but for me, I want to look back on my life and I want to say, I made a change. Yes. I made an impact. I touched someone's life. If there's someone here listening today and I inspire you to write a book, man, I won.
And I'm going to go ahead and say, a lot of people don't know that I was behind the 5.3 mile trial run of Lafayette. And so if you've seen that come about, that was because there I was.
Wow.
And so it was daunting. I was like about 38 years old, but full of energy. They couldn't stop me because I would get 7 days a week and 24/7 because I always have my call letters with 321. They would call me. We have an accident. We have this. I covered 31 accidents. And I covered the very first time I ran over the individual downtown. So, and to this day, I always tell Charlie, I think I have brain damage because he does PTSD. I've got it so bad, can't you tell? But he gets a kick out of what I'm saying. But, they have people that help me out. I never needed really because the way I grew up. You grow up in certain areas.
You grew up in Adams County, man.
Commerce City.
Commerce City. Yeah.
It's like the big gutter rat, so it's like that's not really but just what we used to see and what we envisioned and the people that were behind it. It was all these different variables that we evolved, and that's where the federal system came in. The Clinton administration, and that's where we needed money to expand 23 years ago. What you see now is what we're and I knew in point in time they would run out of money. They did. They went public-private. So public-private is what pushes the money to the airport, up north, all over the place. Wow. So it's not just RTD, it's public-private.
Wow. So it's kind of a combination.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I've learned so much when I talk to this guy. I got to tell you, I've been so thinking about what this country needs. And, I just believe that this country needs a John F. Kennedy guy.
Yes.
We need a leader a Cesar Chavez, a Corky Gonzalez. We need a John F. Kennedy all wrapped up in one.
And not just one or two, but 5.
But maybe a group of men and women. We need more Polly Bacas in this world. Yes. I got to tell you, if you don't know who Polly Baca is, she was the first Hispanic legislator in the state of Colorado. Was a very, very dear friend of mine and very well-read, intelligent, leader.
And there's Miss City Baca that's
City Baca, that was up your show here down there.
Yeah. And it's all these variables, and then there's Miss Matthew, who just obtained the chairman of RTD. So she's, I could look at the power to the women because women actually push a lot better sometimes than men do.
I agree.
Certain in certain positions, I think.
I agree.
Because I've always got my butt kicked by them, haven't you? Don't admit it.
Yeah, you know, that's why you learn to say, "Hey, I was wrong." Hey,
Son of a son, here you come. Right?
No, but I tell you, I think this country really is ready for a female president. Honestly, I don't care what anyone says. I thought.
Okay, I'm going to contest that. Okay, and I'm going to give you some of the reasons why, and I don't want you ladies to beat the hell out of me for this either.
Remember, I'm on your side.
Okay, so what if she has hot flashes?
Hey,
she's going to hit the button.
She's going to hit the button.
What if you piss her off really bad? She's going to hit the button.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, man, we're pretty close to that right now.
You know what I'm saying? What if, you know, she goes through that change?
You know, I got to tell you, I think that women are much more level-headed in a lot of ways, you know, and I think they think logically through problems, and you know, so many times men are so led by ego, and they're so led by their even more so emotions than women, you know, and I mean, look at the leadership we have in this country. There's just no rhyme or reason for anything he's doing. It just seems like it's there's no leadership. It's that was an oxymoron.
Okay, I'll explain for you.
Okay.
He's one of those talk show hosts that
yes.
You know, had his little
TV show host.
Yeah. How come we can't say you're fired?
Oh man.
How come we can't go drag him out like they do in the other countries?
I'm afraid we won't have till November 30th of this year. I'm afraid that, you know, at the rate that this is going, this is a man who can assassinate a general in a sovereign nation with no reason or excuse except to boost his ratings.
And to say he was doing this to
imminent threat, imminent what?
And he was killing all the Americans, and he did this, and he said, okay, so what do we do? Yeah. We're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And so it caused all this grief for so many people. And okay, so they weren't over here in New York blowing us up. I mean, they weren't doing anything like that. But you know, Iran found 500 billion barrels of oil there.
Right before all this happened.
Yes, and so now America backs their money with oil instead of gold. Iran will not let them buy oil with paper or digits. We want gold. And so, you know, you kind of look at the whole thing. We have an oil company with the military. So that's what I think what this is all about. Destabilize the country and then go in there and get what they need to get the resources.
Undermine the leadership?
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not saying that this general was a good man. I mean, this general was by no means, and I didn't mourn his death. You know, if you're a conservative, and don't tell anyone I mourned his death, because I don't. And you know, the last 3 presidents have all thought about, you know, taking him out. But there's reason not to do that. And, you know, one of the reasons is it's created a massive void there.
Yes.
And what happened when George Bush the first, you know, took out Saddam Hussein? There was a massive void there. And who came in and filled it? ISIS.
Have you heard George Carlin speak about them?
Oh,
they have such little weenies. They got to look at the other ones. A Bush? No, he was so bad. He had such a little weenie. He was even called Bush. Have you heard his stuff? Oh, it's funny. If you want to hear George Carlin talk about war, I can post it.
Oh, yeah. George Carlin. He was such an insightful man. So wise. Too bad he died. I thought he had so much to say. Yeah, but you know, it's time for America to wake up, and it's time for us to take the reins, because this country is not ours, and it's not you know, we are not a country or a government of the people. You know, what do you think of the billionaires running for president? What's your thoughts on that, Henry?
They're just buying it.
They're buying it.
It's the same thing like Trump.
Yep. I don't think that this government should be for
wasting so much money. You've already got all this money. Why do you want all this power? Get all that money and do something wise with it. To me, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
If you had all that money, what would you do?
I'd
create schools.
Yep. I'd be helping Puerto Rico. I'd be helping. You know,
how come nobody helping?
Why is Puerto Rico not our country? Why are they going to the military as American citizens, but they can't get funds as American citizens? I'm troubled by that. Is it because their skin's brown? What happened to Donald Trump to make him hate brown people so much? I mean,
that's what George Carlin says. Oh, they love bombing brown people, but then they ask him, what about the Germans? Oh, they were just cutting in on our territory. That's why we have to get them. So it's so funny, but it's real.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, I tell you, it's I don't know. It's mind-boggling to see where we are right now.
You mean I'm going to state this?
I don't like this stuff. You know, I got to tell you, one time when my daughter was a little girl, she got beat up in school, and I went into the school and I met with the girl that beat her up, and we were in a real intense internationally we're very tense, you know. And I remember looking at that girl, and she was an African American girl, and I said, look at your skin. I said, you know what? There are people across the country, across the world, who want to kill you, not because of the color of your skin, but because you're an American. You know what? We're one here. And you know, so many times I see black on black crime or brown on brown crime, and it's like we shouldn't be attacking ourselves. We shouldn't be cutting off our nose to spite our face.
And here was something that was really interesting. I was somewhere, I forget where I was at. Somebody was talking stuff to me, an African American person. What you looking at? Black boy, he's telling me. Black boy. Yeah, because I'm black. I said, something. I'm colorblind. What do you think? I'm not really colorblind, but that's a way to get out of it. I mean, like, this is one of my philosophies. I always say this: there's never no problems. There's only solutions. That's right. So you got to be quick-witted to get out of problems. You got to be, okay, I got out of that one.
Yeah. Sometimes silence is the best.
You try that with girls and women. No, you try that. What are you doing? You son of a bitch!
I love you, honey.
No, but women are coming about, and they're really like all the ladies that we have here. I mean, like,
oh, it's wonderful,
beautiful it shows and beautiful, interpretations of what they're broadcasting and how they put it up. So I'm really proud of everybody who's here. So I think we have a great staff who comes in and does a beautiful job at everything.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you, I'll tune in randomly, and it's like every time I tune in, there's something of interest that's going on in the station.
And I even sit back and go, that.
Yeah.
You can be this age, and you can still learn things. Absolutely. It's hard, but.
And after we're done here, Paul Chavez is going to come on and entertain you for the rest of the day, and guys, stay logged in because.
And we're going to have to probably pull out because he's going to be in there. He's going to want to push us off the way.
Holy cow! It's been an hour already.
Yeah. Because we get some good dialogue. No, we can keep going.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty excited about the future. I know that there's not a great outlook right now as far as the American government, and we don't know what this trial is going to be next week. We don't know if it's going to be biased, fair, impartial. We don't know. We can only hope for the best.
You're not talking about my trial.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you. Guys, come in. No, but we do have control. We do have a voice, and it's going to take unity, and it's going to take a lot of people standing up and speaking as one. A few weeks ago, there was the night before the impeachment, there was a big march, and only 1,500 people showed up downtown. Wow. It was really a brutally cold night.
That's what it was. I think more would show up.
But in Puerto Rico, when they all stood up in masses and they got rid of the governor there, that's what I want to see here. We want millions, not thousands.
Yeah, like they do in Europe too.
Like they do in Europe, and then they're
Well, the reason why you can't do it here, they tried one time. It was the something banks. They're going after the banks. They did, and all the cities they send them to cops in every city.
Wow.
Counted on everybody. I don't even know that.
Wow.
It was so well organized, and so well done. They counted on everybody. So I know that here in they say you're free. You're not free. Everybody, like I said, you're a debt slave. I would say that.
That MasterCard is named MasterCard for a reason.
I like that one.
That's a good one.
Yes, master. Yes, master. You have a MasterCard? Yes, master.
Yep. I'll tell you what, that thing does it. It has a control on you, and has a chain on you, man. And, that's just another thing that's going to get out of debt.
I pulled out my wallet and I was going to pay. We don't take cash here. Well, how am I going to pay? I don't know. Do you have a MasterCard? Yes, master.
Absolutely.
Some people do.
Yeah, it's really, you're starting to see more and more. It's becoming a cashless society.
Yeah, like with the phone, you pay with Apple Pay and stuff. You just kind of scan it.
Yeah. I got my email and I got the PayPal.
Yeah.
And that's like I'm very technologically challenged. So I get this. You got PayPal, $46. I go, wow. What do I do with it? But yeah, the technology and there's so much more. And
that's the thing. I love technology. That's my game.
Yeah, you're the guy.
There's certain things it still feeds me. And I take just the real complicated, good stuff that it can well, and that's what technology is all about. If you know it well. They look at the guy that walks in, the guy showing up, I go, I'm the guy. Do you even know how to use your phone? Oh, because of this?
Yeah.
You know, because some people, my dad can't even use his phone. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think I can use my phone. I'm gonna use my phone on you because you can actually use your phone to crack into iPad.
Really?
It's all. If I ever show that to you, that's alien shit.
Oh man, yeah, I tell you, like I said, Henry, I scratch my head watching. I just watch you touch all the buttons and something happens each time. But folks, we just appreciate you being with us here today. I mean, it's just so humbling to have you, and so grateful. I have some things in the works. If you know who Victor Villaseñor is, he's my most favorite author in the world. I got to meet him at the Tattered Cover Bookstore about 20 years ago, and he called me up from the audience and gave me a hug. He wrote the book The Rain of Gold. My girlfriend's reading that book right now, and man, I'll tell you what, she can't stop reading it. But I've been in touch with his publicist, and we're hoping to be having him on our show sometime in the next month or so. I will be doing much more effort to get some authors on the show for you. If you are an author, or if you know an author who would love to be on our show, please give us a call, get a hold of me, and come on in, and we'd love to interview you, have you on our show. And as we close, we again thank you for watching. I'm Paul Lane. This is Henry Archuleta, and Paul Chavez just came in to join us, and he's getting ready to come on for his show. Good morning, Paul.
Morning, how are you, my friend?
Good to have you.
All right.
So, again, this is Weekend Boost, and it's just such a great pleasure and honor to have you all here today. Thank you so much for joining us. How you doing, man? Good to finally meet you.
Paul Chavez, right on, brother.